Oh boy. Buckle up. Now, this and the next few videos might be less visually appealing. I am hurrying as fast as I can. I am hurrying to tell you and share with you information and options. Options for my upcoming November trip to Mount Hiba and the region. This is a crazy one, guys. Let's look at Mount Hiba. No, let's look back at Onamichi, where we were last week. And we made a discovery right here on this channel last week. If you are a time traveler from the future looking back on us now and you think we are groping around in the dark like primitive people, yeah, we are. We are groping around live in real time when all these things were still mysteries. Before you smarty pants in the future figured this all out, we are primitive gropers. So we found this geometry last week between the only 3 megalith sites that I know of here. So what were these people doing? Well, we don't know, but we know they liked geometry. They liked it a lot. They put a lot of work into it. They were nuts about geometry for whatever reason. They were geometry fanatics. Now, I'm not. My 10th grade math teacher, Mr. Pooney, can confirm that. That's when I got off the math bus. But we're dealing with something here. So I put myself in the shoes of a geometry fanatic. A geometry fanatic with superhuman rock-moving, rock formation building ability. Are you with me? Are you in your geometry fanatic shoes too? All right, we make lines between these megalith sites, and we find that these lines were already here thousands and thousands of years ago. Equilateral lines, no coincidence. So I look for more lines. Found some. Pretty fast, I found some. Where? Well, of course, on Mount Hiba. Mount Hiba, modern home of the Hibagon, the Japanese Bigfoot. This stuff is getting predictable. I hope it's not getting too boring. Now, there is, and I don't understand it, but there is a connection between ancient megaliths and the Hibagon. We'll see more today. South side of Mount Hiba, a megalith site, megalith complex. Part of the most important megalith complex in all of Japan. We're going to begin to see today how the emperor is involved. This is the Chibi no Iwa. Iwa means boulder, by the way. Now the story goes that Izanagi threw this stone here to block the path and obstruct the hags from hell, who were sent to chase him by his deceased wife, Izanami, his deceased corpse wife, his rotting corpse wife, who was in hell. North of Mount Hiba on this approach, another fascinating megalith complex. The whole mountain is a megalith complex. It's a pile of megaliths with some dirt in between. This stripe stone, someone Someone did quite a job on that. Okay, draw a line from the stripe stone, which I just choose at random, and the chibi boulder, the chibi no iwa. I don't know if these are the right stones to connect with a line, but when I do, that line goes straight through Mount Hiba's twin peaks. Speaking of twin peaks, this thing is getting about as crazy as a David Lynch film. maybe we're in one. But not only that, make sure you're sitting down. Not only that, it passes right over the imperial tomb or imperial mausoleum of Izanami. Izanami is the deceased rotting corpse bride of Izanagi, the mother goddess of Japan. Repeat, the mother goddess of Japan. Now, I don't believe this exactly as I'm describing it. I'm just telling the standard narrative. Izanami was the mother goddess of Japan, the creator mother goddess. Now, she wasn't a very robust goddess because she died, and she cannot have been a very nice goddess because she went to hell. And the portal to hell, the doorway to hell, is where in the world? The portal to hell is, of course, on top of Mount Hiba. Now, there are a lot of mountains in Japan, let alone the rest of the world. I'm just thinking about Japan now. Thousands and thousands and thousands of mountains. Where is the tomb of the mother goddess? If you didn't know, is it on Mount Fuji? Is it in Tokyo or just outside Tokyo, seat of power? In Kyoto, also a seat of power? Is it in any of the former capitals of Japan, or is it near the seat of an old warlord? No, none of those. The tomb of the mother goddess and the portal to hell is on top of this remote, not very tall, not very noticeable mountain in a backwater part of a, let's be honest, very provincial region of Japan. What are the odds of that? You tell me, because I quit math in grade 10. And what are the odds that this same mountain is the home, the eponymous home of the Hibagon, the Japanese Bigfoot? Now, only one of these mountains can be the tomb of the mother goddess. She can only have one tomb. And Mount Hiba is verified by the imperial family. The tomb is the property of the imperial family. Only one of these mountains is the eponymous home of the Hibagon. Now, don't get me wrong. I think these beings are alive and well on many other mountains. But none of those mountains gave him his modern-day name. I forced this line south and followed it as far as I could, and I didn't find anything. I will look again. Maybe this is only a short line with local significance. Well, maybe not. I made a new line from the starting point was the tomb of Izanami, and I drew that line to where? Where do you think, class? Where, knowing what you know, where would you draw that line? Where would be one obvious place to draw it? Well, I drew it to the bird stone, or maybe it's the whale stone. I don't know, at Mukaishima. I drew this line both on Google Maps and on windy.com. If you want to do it, and please do it, please confirm, number one, that I'm not schizophrenic, and number two, that I'm not lying to you. The line goes clean through that platform, looking off the cliff, facing Senkoji Temple. That Lion King platform I showed you last week, I stepped out on, I broke the rule, I stepped on it. If you're new here, I'm sorry. You will have to go back and start at the very beginning. The line goes straight through that platform. Mount Hiba is 45 miles away. It's invisible. How would they... Okay, never mind. I scrutinized every mile of that line, and it passes directly over a lot of shrines and temples. I mean, right over their roofs. Now, maybe that's just lucky chance, because Japan does have a lot of shrines and temples. And we know that these guys build their Lucky Charm dispensaries on top of ancient megaliths. So there is that, too. This is kind of suspicious. But at kilometer 25, measuring from Mount Hiba, interesting number, by the way, 1.3 and change, which is what these lines measure, goes into 25 a nice round 20 times. This may be a basic unit of ancient measurement. Anyway, at kilometer 25, this line passes right alongside, and it's not directly over, but it is directly alongside Mount Ashitakeyama. What dat? Well, I'm not going to surprise you, I think, by telling you. It is an astounding collection of megaliths, some of the biggest and the best I've ever seen, but not with my own eyes, not yet. I haven't been there yet. It's been high on my list. I had no idea that it was connected to Hibayama, or it's right on the line. Now, what if I told you that in 1934, a man wrote a book about this mountain, calling it out as an ancient man-made pyramid, and the original pyramid. Yes, the original pyramid of the world. Now, what if I told you next that the legend says, the legend of the people around here... Oh boy, be careful now. Remember, legend says that these things are real. So be careful about believing legend, or you might just be liable to start believing that these things are real. Who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? But legend says that Ashitakeyama is the tomb, or mausoleum, of Jimmu, the first emperor of Japan. The first emperor. This is like your... Well, it's way more than your George Washington. It's more than your King Arthur. The first emperor of Japan. First emperor, son of course, Izanami, mother goddess of Japan, on whose tomb we started this line. Now again, what are the odds? And furthermore, what are the odds that Jimu's tomb just aligns and lines up nicely, toes right up to the line? There is a Hibagon connection, of course. I haven't made the case in video yet that I do make in the book. I believe that the Oni, the mountain-dwelling devil or demon, is the Hibagon by another name. We've already had one confirmation of that in Aomori. Remember where the farmer disappeared after making friends with a wild, giant, hairy mountain person? As big as a sumo wrestler, but taller. He disappeared, and his neighbors renamed the place after the Oni. The Oni, the mountain-dwelling devil or mountain-dwelling demon. Oni. Part of the Ashitakeyama complex. And the author of the book makes the claim, and I agree, I think it is very obvious. He says that this megalith complex is the center of worship and the key to this pyramid. He says there is a stone sphinx here, after which the Giza Sphinx was modeled. The original sphinx in the world is here. The name of this place is Oni-Yoyama. Oni-Yoyama. Demon Scream Mountain. Demon Screaming Mountain. Hibagon Screaming Mountain. Where? Where in the world? What they say is the tomb of Japan's first emperor, connected clearly by a straight line, straight geometric line, with the tomb of the Japanese mother goddess, which I don't believe, but the emperor and the imperial family and imperial power believes. How do I know they believe it? The author described a sunstone, an enormous carved boulder on top of this mountain, a colossal sunstone. It is not there now because the Imperial Army, this guy's grandfather's army, removed it shortly after this book was published. They just decided to remove it. I have no idea what all this means. I have no idea what connection there is between megaliths, the emperor, and the Hibagon. I'm not dreaming up these connections, I promise you. I am not erecting these thousands of tons boulders all over the place in the nighttime, in geometric patterns. And what about these geometric radial lines on Mount Hiba's southwest slope? What's going on there? I have no idea if it's possible to traverse this ground, to get down here. No idea. I want to go there, but I don't know if it's possible. Maybe not. Probably not, I don't think, with small children. Guys, I wish you were here. I wish Japan had a Second Amendment. Please help me think about these things. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know anything more than I'm telling you. And I'm telling you at the same time I'm finding stuff out. So help me, because 103 brains are better than one. I'm going to start scheduling some conference calls. Already some of you have told me you like that idea. They'll have to be timed to Japan local time to coordinate everybody. I'll do some in the evening and some in the morning, and I hope everyone who wants to can join. I don't know. We'll figure out a way to give the codes maybe in the comments and then delete them after the meeting. I don't know yet. I love you all. Thanks for being on this crazy ride. I know that some of you are worried about me and my family. We are going to develop the best safety protocol that we can. We are informed by hundreds of missing persons cases. And we can't bring those people back, but we can at least learn from them. All right, I don't even know what to title this video. This is insane.